Morning, boys. Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Kessler Lloyd. I run Mount Olympus Coaching, an online transformation program where we help men go from average to aesthetic by focusing on their mindset, habits, nutrition, and training. And in today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about the mindset that you need to have to achieve the goals that you set out for yourself and build this level of unbreakable discipline in your life. It's about 5:30 right now. I'm going to go do my fasted cardio after I film this, but I felt like I needed to make this video. I felt like I have not truly been living up to the potential that I have with this channel, the potential that I have to make an impact on your guys' lives. And I felt like in my heart that I needed to get on here and just start documenting more. I needed to start explaining my mindset more. I need to start explaining why I do the things that I do. And I think a massive driving factor behind why I've been able to achieve the things that I've been able to achieve, winning my pro card, my natural bodybuilding pro card at 20 years old, building an online business completely from the ground up on my own and creating a system where I've been able to transform over 40 guys' lives. The reason that I've been able to achieve these things is because of this one mindset that I've been developing since a very, very young age, okay? And this mindset is you have to sacrifice in the present moment for your future self. And I was incredibly, incredibly blessed to have understood this concept from a very young age. Probably since I was around 13 or 14, I've had this idea that I was going to do things in that present moment that would build myself into the future version of me that I wanted to achieve. And I think it can all be broken down to this one video that I saw from Iman Gadzhi, probably at 14 or 15 years old. And it was this concept of the slingshot effect. Okay, this idea that there are going to be periods of your life where you're pulling back that slingshot. You are pulling back. You are spending time grinding. You are waking up early. You are going to the gym consistently. You are eating the foods. You're going to have to pull back that slingshot. Okay, and then the further and the longer that you pull back that slingshot, the further and farther you're able to go. Now, this concept, of pulling back that slingshot in periods of your life where you're working very hard and then periods of your life where you kind of let that slingshot go for a little bit and allow that momentum to build before eventually getting back into a period of growth again is something that I've been able to consistently do over the last 5 to 6 years. I obviously just turned 20 at the end of April. It's the start of June right now. So, this is my first year in my 20s and this is going to be the year that I quantum leap and truly break past all of the limiting beliefs that I've had since a young age that have told me that I wasn't able to achieve the success yet, that I hadn't earned it, that I hadn't done it. And the more that I step into this higher version of myself, the more that I start living in alignment with the person that I want to be in the future, the more I'm realizing that I have put in the work and that I have put in the sacrifice and that I have I have eaten the shit long enough that I should step into my role as an authority. I should be able to come on here and speak with this conviction behind my process because it works. Because I've literally, and I'll pop up a transformation right here, I've literally taken guys from any starting point to building a lean aesthetic physique. It's not just me. I've proven to myself that my knowledge, my systems, the way that I approach training works at a very, very high level. It's why I was able to beat out guys at a competition that are much older and much more experienced than me, right? It all comes down to the sacrifice that I put in from a very young age, okay? And this mindset is something that you need to adopt if you want to truly achieve success in life, in any facet of your life, whether it be business, entrepreneurship, your physique, your relationship with your woman, anything that you want to achieve success in, you have to have this mindset of, I will sacrifice today for my future self. Now, let me explain why this mindset is so powerful, okay? So when I was 13, 14 years old, right, and I hated the way that I looked, right? I was skinny, everybody told me I had skinny abs, right? I was a shorter, smaller kid, and I felt like I needed to overcompensate for that, right? Everywhere I looked, it was like guys were bigger than me, guys kind of pushed me around, spoke down on me, treated me like I was almost younger than them. And I felt like I was tired of it. I was absolutely sick and tired of it. Girls would tell me like, you're super cute, but like if you were taller, and this mindset for many people, and I've spoken to many people about it, this mindset would kill their confidence. For me, it did the opposite. It inspired that spark in me to make a change, to start taking myself seriously, and to outwork everybody around me. So, it started with push-ups every morning. Day and night, I would hit 100 push-ups in the morning, 100 push-ups at night. I would hit an ab workout in the morning and an ab workout at night. I was literally spending hours on YouTube watching guys, like the one guy that I used to like obsess over is this guy, Douglas Nickel. Probably watched every one of his YouTube videos like 3 or 4 times about how he trained, the foods that he ate, the mindset that he had, and it's what allowed me to start building this version of myself that I wanted to become. I literally envisioned in my head, I saved every single video, I screenshotted every Instagram post, and I literally envisioned in my head becoming this guy, building this aesthetic physique with the traps popping out, the big shoulders, the broad chest, the abs. I literally envisioned that person that I wanted to become and made sacrifices in that present moment to do that. I spent the time taking the notes down. I spent the time, getting into the gym, going early. And it was around this time that I decided to, 13, 14 years old, I started wrestling with one of my friends, right? One of my family friends. And, we would literally go as hard as we possibly could and like just beat each other up, choke each other out until we were tapping out. And it was like this aggression. And I think first off, that is extremely important to have in your life, is that brotherhood, that aggression, that ability to have somebody with you that pushes you forward. And this kid, his name's Luca, and we've taken completely different paths in life, but he taught me what it meant to suffer, because I was a very sheltered kid. I grew up extremely, extremely sheltered. My parents, like I think the first, I went to a Waldorf school. I did all of these things where my parents wanted me to be, this kind, this thoughtful, this empathetic kid. And what it led to me was bullying. Like it led to me being soft. It led to me being pushed around. And this family friend, Luca, he truly taught me what it meant to suffer, to get beat up, to stand back up, to stop crying, and to actually take control of my life. And, 7th, 8th grade, all of a sudden I had this confidence, right? Because me and him would fight all the time. So I felt more powerful. I felt more like I had something going for me. And I would start to fight the kids at like school. Like I'm talking like the biggest kids in my school. Like we would have sleepovers and we would all like wrestle, and I would end up choking them out. I was probably like 5'4", 5'5", skinny, 110 pounds, and I was choking these guys out that were like 5'10", 6 foot in like 8th grade. Like I'm talking the biggest guys in my grade. I was choking them out. I was fighting them. I was literally I was doing something that I did not think was possible before. And all of a sudden I started, building this newfound respect. They started seeing the physique. They started seeing that I was working out. They started seeing that I was able to kind of take on these guys that are bigger than me. And like eventually, like in 7th grade, I had a fight. I can pop up the video here if you guys want to watch, but I had a fight, and one of my friends came to me. This is one of the bigger kids that I would wrestle with, and we were at this field, and there's hundreds of kids around, and this kid was going around looking for a fight, and my friend, he's like, my guy will take you. And I was like, bro, what did you just volunteer me for? Like there's hundreds of girls around, there's hundreds of kids around, and I was like, I can't back down from this, right? Like he literally put it out there that I was confident that I could take him and that I would have no problem doing it. And I'll pop up the video here. Like I did not know how to fight at all, but because I had slowly started making those sacrifices the year before, eating the shit, getting beat up by my friend Luca, putting the work into the gym, because I had slowly started making those sacrifices, I felt the confidence to step up. And I fought the kid and I did all right. And, that built my reputation more. And then I got to high school and I joined the wrestling team. And eventually I was ranked, in my section. And eventually, I was winning I won the MCAL league, like my local league. I won it every single year after that, right? But it all started with that sacrifice of hating who I was and realizing I'm going to suffer now. I'm going to do these push-ups that suck. I'm going to do these workouts that suck. I'm going to spend the time learning so that my future self will be able to feel confident. And it started, applying to all areas of my life, right? I started improving the way that I dressed. I started improving the way that I spoke. I started obsessing about books. From a very, very young age, I was a reader. So that probably played into a lot of this like confidence. Like I would read in class. Like I'd have a book under my desk while my teacher was teaching me. I in 7th grade, I think I read like 60 books that year. Because we had like a challenge where like our teacher challenged us to read 40 books. And I was like, I'm going to read more than anybody else, and from a young age, I was always like that. I was always wanting to put in more work than the people around me. And, now at 20 years old, it's compounded into like a life where truly I feel so aligned with who I am. I know exactly what I want to do. I know exactly what I want to accomplish because I started making those sacrifices from a young age. And around sophomore year, I started getting into more self-improvement books. I read, let me see if I have it here. Yeah, I read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, and my dad had gotten me this book, and it was probably the book that, truly changed my mindset the most, because it showed me that whatever the mind can conceive and whatever you can believe, you can achieve. And that mindset, the ability to see something in your mind and physically bring it into reality, is something that I think a lot of you guys will benefit from, and need to understand that if you have a goal and you have a vision that you see in your head, this person that you want to become, these goals that you want to accomplish, if you have that, that means you were meant to walk that path. God gave you that vision so that you could walk that path. Okay, you don't see these things as possible, and it's not meant for you, or your genetics won't allow it, or whatever excuse that you have. If you can see it in your mind, you can achieve it. And that mindset is so powerful. But in order to achieve that goal that you have in your head, you have to sacrifice. You have to be willing to eat the shit. And this is what people do not seem to realize, okay? The reason that I've been able to blow up on social media, the reason that I've been able to grow my business the amount that I did, is because for an entire year before I ever put my face online, I built an entire account from the ground up, faceless, using this and building skills, learning how to edit videos, learning how to use AI voices. And I built that account to 120,000 followers without ever showing my face. I sold over $10,000 worth of $7 workout programs. I built a Discord community of like 3,000 kids. And this was all without ever showing my face, using AI voiceovers, breaking down how to get the David Laid physique, how to, train for aesthetics, how to, do calisthenics at home like Chris Heria, right? I would literally break down these guys' workouts, and doing so, it sucked. I literally would spend hours with almost no return on my time, right? I spent hours building out these programs, making these videos, and sure, some of them would get views, but some of them would flop completely. But in doing so, I was building the skill that my future self, I would understand videos, I would understand content, I would understand the algorithm, and I would truly master fitness coaching because I had been doing it for so long. I had helped guys for $7 completely transform their lives, and it made me realize, wow, like the impact that I could actually have by doing this is incredible. So, that sacrifice that I put in, that year of eating the shit, that year of spending, hours staying up until the middle of the night editing a video to post it, to go to bed, to wake up early, to get to the gym, because I had to train twice a day because I was wrestling. So it was like I either trained in the morning or I trained right before practice, and then I went to practice. A lot of you guys won't even exercise during your sports season. You won't even go to the gym during your sports season because you're too sore and you're too tired. I literally did the most physically demanding sport and still found the time, energy, and effort to go into the gym, kill my body, and then go into my practice and kill my body again, right? All of this, all of those days that I chose to do that built me into the man that I became. It built me into the man that is able to achieve his goals. And at a point where I'm at right now, literally in 7 days, this is the house that I've lived in for the past year. I go to California Polytechnic, Cal Poly, in San Luis Obispo, and I'm studying entrepreneurship here, right? And I'll go into that in a second, but I'm literally so confident in myself and my ability to make something out of myself and to truly transform guys' lives with my business that I'm going to take a gap year right now. I'm going to go travel the world. I'm going to go to Bali in literally 7 days. I'm going to completely leave the country, leave my girlfriend that I've been with for 3.5 years, leave everybody behind, my parents, whether or not they believe in me, whether or not they don't, and they don't necessarily support it, but they understand, that I've sacrificed for this moment. And now I'm going to literally go step into that next level version of me where I'm able to finally be in an environment that is purely catered towards my success. And, that is the biggest thing I struggled with this year is I invited my best friends from high school to come live in this house with me this year, to move down, to go to the community college here in an effort to push them out of their comfort zone and to help them start doing something that would build them to their future. And they all agreed when they moved down here that we were going to, build a business together. We were going to push each other to go harder in the gym, that we were going to create this environment that was purely focused around success. They all, and I love these boys, like they truly are my brothers. Like, don't get me wrong, they are my brothers, but they did not put in the work to come to Bali with me. We've been talking about it for 6 months, about how we are going to do this, how I want to help them start their social media. There's a million different ways that they could be making money with online business. I've tried everything, and I've made every single thing I've tried work. Drop shipping, the social media pages, the faceless, selling low ticket PDFs, now doing high ticket, now doing sales, all of that. Everything that you see online works. You just have to be willing to put in the work and the sacrifice. And they weren't willing to do that. I literally was going to give that 120,000 follower account to my friend, and I was like, turn it into your own thing. And he never took the action on it. I was literally going to help my friend Oliver. I was going to help him build his business from scratch. I was on him every single day. I have a system that basically guarantees you go viral if you have a transformation and if you have a good physique. I have a system that guarantees you go viral. And he still has, to this day, has posted 2 videos. 2 videos. I love them to death, but they were capable of so much more. And I truly believed that they were capable of so much more, but they weren't willing to make sacrifices in the present moment for their future selves. And we've been talking about it for 6 months. And now that the moment where we actually have to move out and I'm actually going to go travel is here, they realized, shit, I did not do the work that I needed to do, and therefore I'm not going to get the thing that I wanted to get. So, I know this video is going on long, but that's just a perfect example of why the mindset that you have is so incredibly important, and why sacrificing in the present moment is the best decision that you can possibly make for your future self. I look back at every single thing that I've ever done throughout my life, whether it sucked, whether it, I was literally crying after wrestling practice from getting beat up, like blood coming out of my nose. I'm throwing up from being so exhausted. That taught me grind. That taught me grit. That taught me to keep going when things get hard. All of these sacrifices that I've made have built me into the man that I've become. And I'm so grateful for my younger self. And I want you guys to be the same. I want you guys to look at the man that you are now and start making changes so that you can become the man that you envision yourself to be. Because there truly is a version of you out there that is a rare individual that accomplishes the things that he says he accomplishes and is a one-of-one man in a world full of average people. So if that's you and you made it this far in the video, you're a fucking killer and you're going to achieve everything that you want to achieve. Just make the sacrifices now. I'm telling you, it will be the most worth decision that you could ever make in your life. And yeah, I appreciate you boys for tuning in. I'm going to really try to get on here and speak my mind and speak my truth, because I have a message that the world needs to hear, and I have an impact that I was here to make. So I appreciate you boys for tuning in. I'll catch you boys later. I'm going to try to do a couple more of these before I leave for Bali. But when we're in Bali, this account is going to be dedicated to explaining every single thing you would need to know about how to go from average to aesthetic, okay? I'm going to break down every client transformation I've had, the exact process that we use to take them from 20% body fat to 10% body fat. I'm going to break down so you guys see that it's not just me, the information that I speak. It actually works applicably for anybody that applies it and anybody that takes it serious and is willing to make those sacrifices. All right, in a world full of average people, boys, go out and become one of one, become a rare individual, and I'll talk to you guys later.